Right, so I'm really hoping you can't hear the rain outside, but I am wearing the same clothes I was in my last video because I'm filming them together. I'm just super busy at the moment in the run up to Christmas, work's busy. It's the 16th of December and I haven't done any wrapping. I only sent my cards yesterday. I'm just behind on everything. We've only just about got the decorations up, and even some of them, I keep finding decorations around the house like, I haven't put you up yet. But I'll get there in the next 9 days, hopefully. So this is kind of a big November / bits of October book haul. It's been so long since I've done one of these and I've really missed them, and I've been meaning to do one for a little while, so I thought I'd share with you some of the books that I've picked up recently, or that have been passed on to me by friends, or I think I've got one from that a publisher has sent on. So this first up is The Choice by Edith Eger. Basically, I have a friend that we swap books all the time and it's really, really lovely, and she sent me this because she saw that I was talking about reading The Tattooist of Auschwitz and how much I loved it. I've got a video that I'll link down below talking about that in more detail because it was my book of the month for November. So Edith was in Auschwitz and she's written this later in her life, so this is a first-hand kind of account. I think the cover's really, really lovely and I'm quite excited to read this one. So my camera keeps cutting out, which is why I'm really hoping these aren't too stilted. It's very irritating. This is Sympathy by Olivia Sujic, I think. I got this in a Reading in Heels box, which I love. It's like a monthly subscription box and you get a book and some beauty goodies, and it says on the back, at 23, Alice Hare arrives in New York looking for a place to call home. Instead, she finds Mizuko Himura, an intriguing Japanese writer who she begins to follow online. Fixated from afar and increasingly convinced this stranger's life holds a mirror to her own. But as Alice closes in on her internet twin, fictional and real lives begin to blur, leaving a tangle of lies, blood ties and sexual encounters that cannot be erased. So I think this is going to be a really interesting account of like online stalking and the internet age, but a woman doing it to a man. Right, I haven't taken the sticker off this because this is one of my charity shop buys of the month. This is The Edible Woman by Margaret Atwood. I read The Handmaid's Tale earlier this year and loved it, and I've really wanted to read more of Atwood's books. This is the blurb. It says, Marion is determinedly ordinary, waiting to get married. She likes her work, her broody flatmate and her sober fiancé Peter. All goes well at first, but Marion has reckoned without an inner self that wants something more, an inner self that calmly sabotages her careful plans, stable routine, and her digestion. Marriage a la mode, Marion discovers, is something she literally can't stomach. So if you don't know much about Margaret Atwood, she's basically a kind of key feminist writer. She started back, well, I think that The Handmaid's Tale was published in the 80s, and yeah, she's got this really strong feminist voice, and it's not one of those ones where when I read The Handmaid's Tale this year I didn't look back and think, oh, 30 years ago feminism wasn't that great. She is really kind of just intense in her kind of ideas, and yeah, I think she's an important person whose books I should read. Right, this is The Lemon Grove by Helen Walsh. I've heard a few things about this and I think it kind of went round on Instagram a few years ago. I obviously didn't read it, and the blurb says, each summer Jen and her husband Greg return to Daya on Majorca's dramatic west coast. This year the arrival of Emma, Jen's stepdaughter, and her new boyfriend Nathan threatens to upset their equilibrium. Beautiful and reckless, Nathan stirs something unexpected in Jen, and she is increasingly seduced by Nathan's youth and the promise of passion. I love the inside of these covers. I really like it when the cover kind of wraps around. I think this is going to be kind of an interesting story about family relationships and lust. So this is The Cement Garden by Ian McEwan. Ian McEwan is not, I find him just unnecessarily wordy. I had to read one of his books for my A-level English and he stuffs so many words in. But one, I love the cover of this, and two, if I'm going to read another McEwan novel I want it to be short, and obviously this is quite short, so yeah, hopefully I won't hate this one as much as The Child in Time, which was just awful in my opinion. Asking for It by Louise O'Neill is next up on my list. This was something that, again, I think it was like last year or the beginning of this year that this kind of all went round, and I had loads of people talking about it on Twitter, and I haven't caught up with it yet. The blurb says, in a small town where everyone knows everyone, Emma O'Donovan is different. She is the special one, beautiful, popular, powerful, and she works hard to keep it that way, until that night. Now she's an embarrassment, now she is a slut, now she is nothing, and those pictures that everyone has seen means she can never forget. So I think this is going to be quite a harrowing story. The cover is really, really beautiful, but also, again, quite dramatic. But this is something that I really, really want to read soon. Usually I leave things for a while before I read them, so. And the next two I actually won as part of a giveaway on Twitter, which is really exciting. It's the first two Dirk Gently novels by Douglas Adams. I've never read anything by Douglas Adams, but it's something that I really, really want to do. And so I was so excited to win the giveaway because I actually get a chance to read something by him. He's the author of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is I so want to read, and I keep trying to find a copy of it in like my local charity shops, but I haven't found one yet. So one day I'll own it. But yeah, these two seem like a good enough place to start. And also in that giveaway is Magisterium, The Iron Trial by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. I actually bought my first Cassandra Clare book a couple of months ago and I haven't started it yet, but I want to. I've heard really good things about both of the authors. So the blurb says, Cool has no idea what he'll come up against in the Iron Trial, but he knows that if he passes the test, he'll become a student of magic at the Magisterium. Only, all his life, Cool's been warned to stay away from magic, so he tries his best to do his worst, but fails at failing. Now he must enter the Magisterium, and it's even more sensational and sinister than he could ever have imagined. This year I've been really trying to get into fantasy novels more, so I'm excited to read this, and yeah, I think 2019 I'm going to start reading more fantasy as well. And then the last three, so this is States of Passion by Nihad Series. It's a book all about, I will read the blurb. When a hapless bureaucrat finds himself stranded in the countryside during a raging storm, he seeks refuge in a grand yet isolated mansion, inhabited only by an elderly gentleman and his unwelcoming servant. The tale of family secrets he encounters while sheltering there begins with a faded photograph in a yellowed newspaper of a beautiful woman stepping off a train at Aleppo station many years ago. It transports him to Syria's golden age, to the heart of the mysterious, unconventional Banat al-Ishreh, the infamous women who live, dance and play music together, and into a tangled web of forbidden love. So I looked this up online because it came in another Reading in Heels box and I wanted to see more about what it is about, and it's all about kind of Syria's golden age, and I think that's going to be really interesting because obviously anything that we kind of consume in the media nowadays about Syria is really devastating, and I think it will be really interesting to have this kind of different light spun on the country. And then this is my next book for my book club at work, and I'm so excited. I've wanted to read this for ages, and it's one of those things where, because I don't really read non-fiction, I needed to kind of have that, not force, but like nudge to actually remember to buy it and to get cracking on it. So this is I Am Malala by Malala Yousafzai. It's an autobiography, and it's all about Malala, who got shot in the head by the Taliban for campaigning for education for girls. So I think this is going to be incredible. I'm really interested to know more about her life and about what led to that point and what's come after. It's got photos in it, and yeah, I think it's just going to be fab. And as well, it's going to be super eye-opening, which is what I kind of want. So finally we have The Rumour by Leslie Cara, which is coming out later this month, I believe. I think it might be the 28th of December, but I can't remember off the top of my head. It's a thriller, and it's all about kind of rumours that get spread around in school playgrounds, I think. So the blurb says, when single mum Joanna hears a rumour at the school gates, she never intends to pass it on, but one casual comment leads to another, and now there's no going back. Rumour has it that a notorious child killer is living under a new identity in the small town of Flinstead-on-Sea. Sally McGowan was just 10 years old when she stabbed little Robbie Harris to death 48 years ago. No photos of her exist since her release as a young woman. So who is the supposedly reformed killer who now lives among them? How dangerous can one rumour become, and how far will Joanna go to protect her loved ones from harm when she realises what it is she's unleashed? So yeah, I love the cover. I think it's really, really pretty. I think it's really it's a good thriller cover. I'm excited to read this. I'll probably read it fairly soon so that I can get a review up, even though I'm so behind on reviews, but hopefully soon, and it'll be exciting. I really hope you like this book haul video. I'm really sorry if it looks bitty or if I'm looking away quite a lot, because my SD card keeps cutting out and it's really frustrating. I had another one that was better and then that got corrupted and died, so at some point I will buy a new one and be a reasonable adult, but not today. So yeah, please, please, please give it a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more content. I'm going to be doing loads more bookish content in 2019 and I can't wait, and thank you for watching. See you again soon. Bye.